Okay, I need to confess something right now. I bought a book 3 months ago. I still haven't finished it, and honestly, I'm not even sure where I put it. If that sounds painfully familiar, then today's episode is exactly for you.
Ha, Thomas, that's basically half the people listening right now, I promise you. Anyway, hello everyone, and welcome to Joobira Zone. Today we're talking about something so many of us have a complicated relationship with, reading.
Yes, reading habits, book preferences, and how we actually find time or don't find time to read.
Okay, let's start simple. Thomas, be honest. Do you actually consider yourself a reader?
That's a tough question. I'd say I'm a reader in theory. I love the idea of reading. I buy books all the time. But actually finishing them? That's where things fall apart.
That's so relatable. There's actually a word for that, you know? In Japanese, it's called sundoku, buying books and letting them pile up without reading them.
Wait, there's an actual word for that? That makes me feel slightly better about myself.
Right? It's oddly comforting to know it's such a common habit that a whole culture created a word for it.
Okay, well, what about you? Are you one of those people who finishes every book they start?
Actually, yes, most of the time. I have this rule where if I start a book, I have to finish it, even if I don't love it. It's a bit stubborn, honestly.
That's impressive discipline. I usually give up around chapter 3 if it's not grabbing me.
See, and that's totally fine too. There's no wrong way to read, really. Speaking of which, let's talk about some useful vocabulary here. If a book is really interesting and you can't stop reading, you can say, "This book is a real page turner."
Oh, I love that phrase. And if the opposite happens, if it's boring and slow, you could say, I couldn't get into this book, or it didn't really grab me.
Exactly. Those are super common ways native speakers talk about books casually.
Okay, let's get into genres now. What kind of books do you usually go for?
I'm a huge mystery and thriller fan. Give me a good plot twist and I'm hooked instantly. What about you?
Honestly, I lean more toward nonfiction, biographies, history, that kind of thing. I like learning about real events and real people.
That's interesting. We're kind of opposites then. Do you ever read fiction at all?
Sometimes, but it has to really pull me in. Actually, funny story, my sister once forced me to read a fantasy novel and I ended up loving it so much I read the entire series in like 2 weeks.
Wait, that's a huge change from your usual nonfiction habit. What series was it?
I won't say the name exactly, but let's just say it had dragons and a lot of political drama. It completely surprised me how invested I got.
See, that's the magic of a good story. It can pull anyone in, even someone who claims they only like facts and history.
True, true. Okay, your turn. Any book that surprised you like that?
Actually, yes. I read a self-help book once, which usually isn't my thing at all, but it completely changed how I think about my daily habits. I actually recommend it to almost everyone now.
That's great. It's funny how one random book can end up having a bigger impact than you expect.
Exactly. Okay, let's talk about reading routines now. When do you usually read, if you read at all?
Honestly, mostly before bed, although sometimes I end up scrolling on my phone instead, which isn't great.
We've all been there. I actually read during my morning commute. It's become kind of a ritual for me now.
That's smart, turning wasted time into reading time.
Exactly, and it makes the commute feel shorter too. If you want to talk about that in English, you could say, I try to squeeze in some reading during my commute, or reading is part of my daily routine.
Squeeze in is such a useful phrase, meaning you fit something into a busy schedule.
Exactly. You could also say, I squeeze in a few pages whenever I get a free moment.
Perfect example. Okay, physical books, ebooks, or audiobooks. Where do you stand on this very important debate?
Oh, this is a big one for me. I'm a physical book person through and through. I like the feeling of turning pages, and honestly, I like how they look on my shelf.
I actually go back and forth. I love physical books too, but audiobooks have saved me during long drives or when I'm doing chores around the house.
That's a great point. Audiobooks are perfect for multitasking. You can listen while cooking, cleaning, or exercising.
Exactly. Though I'll admit, sometimes my mind wanders during audiobooks and I have to rewind because I missed something important.
That happens to me too. There's actually a term for that. It's called zoning out.
Oh, yes, zoning out is perfect. Like, I zoned out for a minute and missed what happened in the story.
Exactly right. Okay, what about ebooks? Any thoughts there?
I use ebooks mostly for travel. It's just easier to carry 5 heavy books in my bag.
That makes sense. Practicality wins there for sure.
All right, let's do something fun. I'm going to describe a type of reader and you guess which one it is. Ready?
Ready? Go for it.
Okay. This person reads 5 books at the same time, never finishes any of them, but somehow still calls themselves a reader.
That's definitely a serial book starter, if that's even a real term. Very relatable, though.
It's not an official term, but it should be. Your turn now.
Okay. This person reads one book a week, has a perfectly organized bookshelf, and writes little notes in the margins.
That's clearly the dedicated reader. Honestly, I'm a little jealous of that person.
Me too, actually, even though I try to be that person myself.
This is such a fun way to think about our own habits. Everyone listening, think about it. Which type of reader are you?
Let us know in the comments. We're genuinely curious and would love some new recommendations ourselves.
Okay, before we continue, quick reminder for everyone, if you're enjoying this episode, hit that like button and subscribe to Joobira Zone. It really helps us keep bringing you more episodes like this.
Yes, and share this with a friend who also has a pile of unread books sitting somewhere in their house. They'll relate, trust me.
All right, let's talk about something interesting now, how reading habits have changed over time. Did you know that studies show attention spans have gotten shorter because of social media, making it harder for people to focus on long books?
That's actually really true. I've noticed it in myself, too. Sometimes I catch myself wanting to check my phone every few pages.
Same here, honestly. It's like our brains got used to short bursts of information instead of long, focused reading sessions.
Which is exactly why some people are switching to shorter books, or even book summaries, just to keep up with reading without feeling overwhelmed.
That's a smart adaptation, honestly. There's no rule saying you have to read massive 500-page novels to be considered a reader.
Exactly. Reading in any form still counts. Even a short story or a few articles a week is still building a reading habit.
True. Okay, let's talk about book recommendations now. If someone asked you for a book recommendation right now, what would you say?
Oh, that depends completely on what they're into. But if I had to pick something universally loved, I'd probably suggest a well-known mystery novel, since almost everyone enjoys a good twist.
That's a safe and solid choice. For me, I'd probably recommend a biography of someone inspiring. Real stories often hit differently than fiction.
That's true. There's something powerful about knowing the story actually happened.
Exactly. Okay, useful phrase here. If you want to recommend something in English, you could say, you have to check this book out, or I highly recommend this one.
And if someone recommends something to you, you could respond with, I'll definitely add it to my reading list.
Oh, reading list. That's such a common phrase. Basically, a list of books you plan to read eventually, even if that eventually takes forever sometimes.
Exactly. Mine is embarrassingly long at this point.
Mine too, honestly. Okay, let's wrap up with something practical. If your friend asks, do you read much? How would you naturally respond in different situations?
If you read a lot, you could say, yeah, I try to read every day, or I always have a book going.
And if you don't read much, you could say, not really, I've been meaning to get back into it, which is a very honest and common response.
That phrase, get back into it, is perfect for hobbies you used to enjoy but haven't done in a while.
Exactly. It works for reading, exercise, basically anything you've paused for a while.
Great point. Okay, I think it's time to wrap up today's episode. Let's do a quick recap of everything we covered.
We talked about different types of readers, physical books versus ebooks versus audiobooks, useful phrases like page turner, squeeze in, and reading list, and even how modern habits are changing the way we read.
We also learned that it's completely okay to read in whatever way works best for you. There's no single correct way to be a reader.
Very true. Now, here's a question for all of you listening. What's the last book you actually finished, and would you recommend it to others?
Let us know in the comments. We're genuinely curious and would love some new recommendations ourselves.
And if today's episode gave you a little motivation to pick up that book sitting on your shelf, or maybe finally finish the one you started months ago, let us know that too.
If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who loves books or someone who really needs to start reading more.
Thank you all so much for hanging out with us today on Joobira Zone.
Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and maybe, just maybe, finally finish that book you've been putting off.